spread a little aloha around the world at Breakfast with Bob.
New Poncho Man. Welcome back, everybody. Breakfast with Bob, our Kona edition. My name is Bob Babbitt. We are brought to you by Master Spas. As fuels go longer, Hoka Let's Fly, Form Smart Swim Goggles, DeBoer Wetsuits, Quintana Roo, Zoot, the original triathlon brand, Premium Plus Sports, and of course, our Challenged Athletes Foundation. Our next guest, I think she's sitting at 1770.3 wins, 5 Ironman wins, 2 fourth places in Kona. Laura Philipp joins us from her palatial estate somewhere in Maui. How are you doing, Laura?
Thanks, Bob, for having me. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm doing well. Maui is great. And I'm actually really glad that I came here early, settling in, giving my body enough time to get used to the time zone, the climate, and yeah, also the chance to get some decent training in.
And how has Maui been? Has it been windy while you're there?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's also one thing Maui is known for good wind and as a good surf spot. So that's one of the reasons why we're here, because my coach and husband, Philipp, he loves kite surfing. So he definitely went out a few times. For me, to be honest, it's sometimes a bit challenging. It definitely adds some spice to the bike rides. And I felt some muscles after riding that I never felt before, because riding becomes a full body workout. But we try to play it safe, of course. And I also have a turbo trainer that I can use. So most of the key sessions will be done on the trainer. And but it's my third time here on Maui. First time was, I think, 2017 when I raced the Xterra World Champs. And then we've been here with the whole squad in 2019 to prepare my first Kona. So yeah, we have had good memories. And that was the reason why we came back here.
Well, and last year in Kona, I mean, you were right there with Daniela, with Annie Hogg, everywhere. Everyone you wanted to be with was right there. And there was a number of people like yourself, Sarah Crowley, Magnus Dietliff, who else kind of?
Florian Angert.
Yes, Lisa Norden.
Yeah, Lisa Norden, Jocelyn McCollin.
It was like all the top cyclists seemed to get penalties last year. When you get something like that, it's a long day. It's 5 minutes, but does it take a while to get back into the racing mode? Because you got a penalty. There's nothing you can do about it. You feel like I didn't do anything wrong, but just getting back into racing, how hard was that?
Yeah, it was definitely hard. First of all, it was my first ever penalty, so I had no experience with, how the impact will be on my mental side and how I will handle the situation. First of all, the most tough part for me that I didn't understand what I got the penalty for, and I still don't 100% know. So that's something that's really upsetting, because you want to learn from doing a mistake, and until now, I don't feel like I did a mistake. So that's still tough to handle, and it definitely took me a very long time until I could actually, get over it, also after the race. But of course, in the race, it's definitely a key moment how you handle a situation like this. Something I did not prepare for. It was not something I imagined to happen. I felt in a really good place in the race. I felt good. I was actually leading that group for, I think, nearly the first hour. So it felt extra hard to get a penalty while you felt like you've done most of the work. I stood there. To be honest, I did cry because I was so desperate, because I knew 5 minutes is like a long, long time.
Yeah.
I saw all the girls passing me, right? So I knew I'm now like very far behind. So that was definitely hard.
All the girls you work so hard to get away from, and here they go by.
Exactly. And I knew I was like, I don't even know the place I was in after that. But from that moment on, it was very lonely for me. I tried to use it as, like now I really need to chase hard. And I tried to catch as many as I can. So I tried not to give up. But of course, I knew with this kind of level we have on the female side as well, and at racing, it's not possible to win a race when you get a penalty and when you're taken out of the race scenario like this. the swim deficit was too big to allow myself to have a 5-minute penalty break. Imagine Lucy Charles gets a 5-minute penalty. She would have still be, I think, 3 minutes ahead of me. So, I'm not in the position to get an extra 5 minutes to overcome that and still be in a good place, to fight for the podium, which was, of course, my goal. I was going for. So that was definitely hard to handle, to let that go in a way, because I knew it's nearly impossible. And I definitely underestimated the impact this had on me mentally. It was very, very hard, when the race got tough, also physically, yes, to find that extra gear. And I think after the race, I was just empty, also like emotionally. And firsthand, I thought I will never ever do an Ironman again. I felt like we need a big change, also, for the rules in the racing, because everything is developing, and I feel like the professional athletes develop a bit faster than the competition rules, and we need to adapt and find better solutions. And so that's interesting to see how it will be this year. I think the field is even better. And of course, I now have this also in my mind, to be extra careful with not doing anything wrong on the bike so I don't get a penalty.
Yeah, and then you have the extra, you've got Taylor Knibb potentially racing. We don't know for sure, but she's on the start list, and she's been pretty dominant this year when she moves up to coming off of her second straight 70.3 World Championship. Do you go through the other athletes in the race, Daniela Reef and Annie Haug and Lucy Charles, and where you want to be at certain parts of the race?
I think that's theoretically possible, but then on race day it comes very different most of the times. So of course I'm aware of who is on the start line and who is my biggest competition, and I think especially this year there are many. I think there, at least, if Taylor really shows up and races, I think we are like more than 7 who could maybe win the race or at least make it on the podium. So the fight is definitely on, and I think from the first minute, and I'm hoping that we actually can deliver really exciting racing. Actually, I just rewatched last year's race. I was so upset after my own race that I couldn't watch it. Usually you go back and watch the race, and reflect on it, but it hurt me so bad that it actually took me until just a week ago that I could watch it. So I did rewatch it, and I just then realized how exciting the race was. Like, it was so much going on. So that's what I'm hoping for, that we can deliver a good show so many people stay awake and watch us race.
Well, it's fascinating because this will be the first time where the women have the island to themselves. You guys have your own, and just raced in Nice, and now you guys have the island to yourself. We might have potentially 2,000 women out there, which will be a great showcase. What are your thoughts on the fact that we've got the men racing in one place and the women racing in another place, and it'll be the same way next year? And I think they have a 4-year deal with Nice, so it looks like this is going to be that's the way it's going to be for next few years.
So first of all, I'm very excited to race in Nice. I, of course, watched the men race, and I think that was a really cool race. And I also think this will be a race course that I will like very much. So I'm already looking forward to that. But on the same side, it's quite sad to have split race venues. So I do enjoy to race with the men. I think it's a good thing to have our own race day, but I think in the future we should look for, venues that could handle 2 days race formats. So we are all there together as a community, and the women can still have their own race. That would be my dream scenario, and hopefully that will be what the future will bring. It felt very strange to watch the men from so far away, because I do think, we share a lot. We share a lot of training and build-ups, and this definitely felt weird for me to watch it on the screen and not to be there. But yeah, I think Nice looks great. I'm looking forward to it. I just hope we could reunite men and women and be there together.
One of my favorite things was last year, both in St. George and in Kona, just seeing the men out there cheering the women on and the women out there cheering the men on. There is really a camaraderie between our pros. And having you guys separated is obviously, I don't think that's optimal. I think we want everybody in the same place because it's great for the sport. I think it's also hard on the sponsors. You got sponsors who are, some, do I go to Nice and Kona? You're sort of doubling your expenses. So it's a toughie. So when I look at last year, you had such a phenomenal year winning in Hamburg and winning in Krakow and winning in Dubai and getting fourth at the PTO Canadian Open is like, that's like winning in most races because the field is so deep and the prize money was so huge last year. But then you finish with Hawaii. Obviously, a fourth is still great, but that you could have been battling potentially, for the win. So when you finished the season, was it sort of bittersweet? I had this amazing season, but it finished with this stupid penalty.
Yeah, it felt tough. And I had the desire in me, to maybe race one more race just to finish on a high. But I had Philipp telling me, it has been a long season and we need to pull the plug and then, recover well, also give your head some, distance from triathlon and from the whole penalty thing. And I did use the time, actually to read, I think, like this thick of all triathlon rule books and stuff. So I got really into the rules and everything. And that kept me, busy. And now I think I'm definitely an expert in that department. But yeah, so we decided, let's recover, let's take a rest. And then as soon as I made the plan that I want to try or race an Ironman again, we made the decision that I will try to qualify for Hawaii early because I wanted to race Challenge Roth for the first time. So therefore, I had to get my qualification done early. And yeah, that's what we did. I went to South Africa, did an Ironman in early March, which was that was quite special, coming out of winter training.
Yeah.
But it was good. Yeah, it was a tough race, but I got my qualification, I got the win. So what else can you ask for? And then the focus was on, getting ready for Roth, doing a little bit of some middle distance races, just enjoying also to be back home. Summer in Germany is beautiful. And that's what I did.
Well, and then Challenge Roth, you get third there, 2:51 marathon, 8:25. I mean, Daniela had an epic day going, when you take 10 minutes off the course record, that's 8:18 and you go 8:08, she was just on fire. That's one of those days where you sort of just tip your hat and go, okay, I had a great race. She was just really special that day.
Absolutely. It was great to be part of that race because I think otherwise, when you watch it from back home, you always question, was the distance accurate or was it like super easy conditions or whatever, if you see a time like this. Yes. But obviously she's one of the strongest and a very special athlete. And yeah, it's great to see what is possible if everything comes together. And yeah, I'm hoping I will experience one of those days in my career as well. It was just great to see her fly. And now we know what the new standard and world best time is. And I said after the race, now we can all scratch our heads how we can, close that gap again.
So when I look at your career, it impresses me that you guys stayed away from full Ironman racing until 18, right? 2014, you did 4 70.3s, 15, you did 2, 16, you did 6 and 1 challenge event, 17, 6, and then your Xterra, and then 18, 5 70.3s, all wins. And then you move up to Barcelona, and I think it was the fastest debut Ironman in history. So, but you were, and I'm sure Philipp had a lot to do with that, you didn't rush it. you stayed until you sort of mastered 70.3 and then moved on. Was that the plan pretty much from the beginning?
Yeah, exactly. You know, since I don't have a background in swim, bike, run, and I don't have, like, you know, when you're in competitive sport from a childhood on, you have like this engine and the speed, but this is nothing I had. So Philipp definitely always told me, you know, we need to work on speed first before we go longer. And I think this definitely was a good decision. You know, first we had to get my body used to volume, you know, just cope with like the impact of running and stuff like this. I had to learn how to swim, you know, this is not so easy. Yeah, we just took our time. I have to say, Sebastian Kienle was kind of a role model for me, because when he did his first long distance race, I think it was Challenge Roth, I think he was the first one who went sub-8 on his first long distance. And that was like a bang, you know. And I thought, oh, this has some style. I really would love, you know, to be my first one, not just, you know, finish the race and be an Ironman, but, you know, finish in style and go for a fast time. So I think having that in my mind, it was a good decision to wait until my body was actually ready, even though I didn't feel ready at all before the first one, you know. I never ran further than 30K, and I never cycled further than 145, I think. So yes. I had many first things to hit in that race that excited me. You know, I thought I would blow up on the bike after 150 or something, but it never happened. So that was really exciting and definitely, you know, help the adrenaline to come go through my body and keep me pushing forward. So that was a great experience, and I'm happy I had such a good first experience on the Ironman distance, you know. And that definitely showed me that this is a distance I'm good at. And of course, I also had the dream within myself, you know, to go to Kona and try to have my best race at the World Champs there.
So, but people don't realize that you were, what, 24 years old when you basically had to learn how to swim. It took you 6 months to swim more than a length without stopping.
Oh, well, you're good informed. Yes, that's true.
That is true. So for the age groupers out there thinking, how do I get good at this sport? You're one of the best in the world. And when you were 24 years old, you couldn't swim across the pool.
That's true. You know, of course I could like swim breaststroke in some sort of way. So I could keep myself above water. But yeah, it just never happened that I really learned how to swim freestyle or, you know, be in the water more often. So it was definitely a challenge, but I'm glad I took it on. And yeah, I think I'm definitely a good example that it's also never too late to try something new, and don't be embarrassed to, you know, give yourself the time to actually learn something from the scratch. And yeah, even though if you're suck at first, you can improve. And that's also the good thing, you know, if you're not good at something, there's so much room for improvement. And I still wish I would improve a bit faster. You know, there are some rough patches where you have to be thankful to improve like a second on 100 meters. But I'm yeah, trying to enjoy the journey, and it's still not over. And I'm still trying to get faster and faster.
So, do you feel your big breakthrough was when you got third behind Daniela Ryf at 70.3, the Euro champs in Wiesbaden? Was that the race that told you could be one of the best?
Yeah, so that was Chattanooga, I think, the 70.3 Worlds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That was amazing to share the podium there with like Daniela Ryf and Emma Pelland, sorry. Yeah, that was a great race, and I took away a lot of confidence, of course. Yeah, those moments are definitely special, and those are the moments we work hard for every day. And of course, now my dream is, to repeat that on the Ironman distance, not the 70.3.
So you get 6th at 70.3 worlds, and that's, obviously a tune up. At that point, you're training for this race, and you're sort of training through Finland and getting ready for this. What did you come away with from racing in Finland?
So Finland, I love Finland. It's a great country, and the race course was really cool. I think definitely worth a world championship race. And to be honest, of course, 6th place is nothing I'm like super proud of, or the result, I would aim for. But my race was not so bad, to be honest. The only crappy part was the swim. I started really fast and I paid the price for it. I just hit like a lactic acid wall and couldn't move for a few seconds. And I just lost the group. I lost important time, and I did ride very strong, and for the energy I spent on the bike, I also did run well. Those are the takeaways I have from that race. It's maybe different if people look at the results and they make their own thoughts about how Laura Philipp performed over there. But for me, it was good, and it showed me that my fitness is on the right way towards Kona. And yeah, I think those are also the experience you only have at those high level races. So it's important to go there, to show up. And yeah, even though, I wished for a better swim experience, maybe it was also exactly what I needed, for the final push towards Kona, to kick my butt and work even harder. So at least that's how I try to approach it, and hopefully it will pay off in a few weeks' time.
You look at Ironman Hamburg last year, where you went 8:18, ran 2:45 off the bike, 4:31 bike, 54 minutes swim. Is that your most complete race? When you look back at your career, is that your best race?
Yes, I think I can definitely say there, I would say overall, swim, bike, run, that was definitely my best performance on the Ironman distance so far. Actually, Austria the year before was similar from, the effort I put in. But I guess it was just a bit slower on the bike due to some hills. But, from the power I rode and stuff, and the run I was able to execute after a tough ride, those were similar. But obviously the time was way better in Hamburg, and for me it came as a surprise, as the transition zone is super long in Hamburg. It's like, I think 800 to 900 meters, so this obviously adds up on the to the final time. So I never expected to come close to such a fast time. But yeah, I mean, obviously Daniela probably also didn't expect to go 8:08 in Roth, but she did. And yeah, even though I don't feel like I had the best day in Hamburg, I would still say I came very close, to having like a really, really good day.
I mean, you put a day like that together in Kona, you're the Ironman world champion. There's a good chance of that.
Well, if I would clock 8:18 in Kona, yes, I think that would probably mean I would become the new world champion. But Kona is obviously very different, a much deeper field, a very different course, a very different climate. And I still need to prove that I can race there to my full potential.
Winning in Hamburg, winning in your home country, that had to be really, really special. The crowd going crazy for you?
Absolutely. There was definitely such a cool experience. It was actually my first time in Hamburg. Hamburg is an amazing city. I didn't know. And the crowds were crazy. And of course, being a German helped to have them on my side. And little did I know that Chelsea, who came second to me in her first Ironman in Hamburg, would become the new world champion in that year.
Yes. Wow. And did that surprise you last year, seeing Chelsea win Ironman World Championships?
So to be honest, knowing the effort I put in Hamburg, I knew she also had a very strong race. And so I knew, she will be the future star on Ironman distance. So it didn't came as a big surprise, because if you look at her pedigree, she ran like 15 something on 5K, and like she has like so super fast times, especially in the run. And I think it was just a matter of time until she will figure out like the whole Ironman and then execute like the perfect race. Of course, it was a bit of a surprise to see her do that at her first Kona and then also at her second Ironman. But I guess this shows just the talent she has. And I think she's in a good spot to repeat that.
So what would it mean to you to win the Ironman World Championship?
Well, this would just be a dream come true, a reward for so much work that I put in and day out. And also, I think it would also mean so much for the people that invest in me, my sponsors, but also my team, everyone who is trying, to create the best possible Laura Philipp and bring me to the start line healthy. Yeah, I think it would mean the world to all of them. And that's what I keep in my heart, especially in those moments when it will get tough. And I'll just hope, I will execute a good race and come close to what I think is my potential on that distance. And I can't wait to get another opportunity to race against the best.
What I love is when a lot of people think that our pros were sort of groomed to be professional athletes, like basketball players and soccer players. And, the fact that you learned to swim when you were 24 and couldn't swim across the pool, you basically rode 30K on your bike to go each way to school, and you running with your dog. Basically, that was your triathlon training as a kid.
Exactly.
Now you become one of the very best in the world. That gives people hope that they can get better themselves.
Yes, I hope so. And I think, even if you just do it to stay healthy, that's probably the best thing you can do. Swim, bike, run, the best sport in the world. And you don't have to do it as crazy as we pros are doing it, to squeeze everything out of ourselves. But I still try, to be an example for doing triathlon at a very high level, but be healthy, promote health first and happiness over, results. And hopefully I can inspire people to, do the same.
So you were really ready, I think, to go to St. George. And then beforehand, you couldn't go. What do you gain from something like that? I mean, obviously it's such a bummer because you put all that work in and can't go. But at the end of the day, was there a positive that came out of that? Because I think after that, you had some great races.
Yeah, first it felt like, you miss a chance of a lifetime. I was really looking forward to race St. George with a hilly bike course and just a different climate and race than Kona. But I think the positive was that it was early in the year. I knew I would recover from COVID, and I then was able to show how good my shape actually was at Hamburg. And I knew it was maybe the best year to miss out one world championship, because we had a second one coming up at the end of the year. So it was still bad timing, but I guess there's never good timing for, getting sick or injured. And but this will definitely, I think, stay with me as one of the chances I miss in my life.
So the other thing, and you were third at Xterra World Championships back in 2017. Do you still do a lot of mountain biking? Do you find that helps your tri training?
So I live at this place in Germany, in Heidelberg, that is just made for mountain biking. We have so many great trails, super demanding trails, to be honest. So it's great for all mountain bikers. They come there to train, and I love it. But to be honest, I don't try to go crazy on the mountain bike, because I know there is a high risk of, risking to fall and hurt yourself. And I don't think, I want to take on that risk at the moment. So I will I did a few, I call them soul rides, where just go and enjoy and don't watch at the watts or pay like time or whatever. That's actually the thing I love about mountain biking most, the more playful side. It's not all about putting down the power and head down. You have to be concentrated all the time because there could be a rock, a root, or a jump, or just so much stuff to think of. And this can actually really help you, to get in this kind of flow state where you forget about anything else. So it's beautiful, and I will definitely go back on the mountain bike after Kona. But for now, I stay on the turbo or on the road. But I would love to give Xterra another shot. Unfortunately, they removed the world champs from Maui.
Yes.
So now they've just been in Italy, and the timing, of course, is bad. I think in the past it was great. You had Kona, and then you could actually 2 weeks after that, if you want to, race Xterra World Championships. And I think a few athletes did, and there was even like a ranking or something, extra prize money for those who did both.
Yes.
Unfortunately, this is not the case anymore. Otherwise, I would have probably considered to do it. But maybe after. Maybe when I retired or something, I will give Xterra or mountain bike riding more of a chance.
Funny, when we were in Nice, I'm interviewing Braden Curry and some of the other Xterra guys. They were like, this course is the closest thing to mountain biking that we've ever seen. They were just lighting up. You are going to love that course. That course is so perfect for you in Nice. Next year you're gonna kill that one. After, of course, you win in Kona and then go win in Nice. That'd be a great double.
Yeah, that would be amazing. But I actually caught myself thinking so much about Nice that I had to tell myself, stop it now. First, yes. Kona, and then you can open up towards new goals again.
Laura, thank you so much for taking time. I look forward to seeing you in a week or so in Kona. Enjoy. How long will you stay in Maui?
Yeah, so we actually decided to stay here quite long. So we will just arrive for the Huala swim. So nearly like a week out of the race. Philipp and I, we will both take part in the practice swim. And until then, we will enjoy, staying out of the triathlon bubble for a bit longer. And then, enjoying the quiet time here in Maui.
Laura Philipp has been our guest. Actually, I'll see you at the swim. We'll be doing
nice. See you there.
Be done and have brunch before I get anywhere near finishing. But it'll be good. It'll be great to see you guys there.
Yeah, see you there. Thanks for doing this online.
Laura, give my best to Philipp. And again, Laura Philipp has been our guest. This is Breakfast with Bob, Kona edition. Can't wait. Just a couple weeks away. Check us out, guys. We're starting our interviews on the 9th of October at Hug Goes on the Rocks. If you're around, come see us. Until then, see ya.
See ya. Thank you.